think we're live. Yeah, we're live now. Cool. Hello, guys. Just going to be continuing, really. There's not really much else to say. Just more of the same. A little bit of grooming on the main monster, hoping to kind of finish the more rough areas where it's like intersecting, like here. Increase the length on top of the head. I think that will help quite a bit with the kind of lack of form we're getting up there. So, yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, hopefully we'll just get to refine some stuff a little bit and we'll see where it goes. So if anyone has any suggestions as to how to push it further, do let me know. And in the meantime, let's start simplifying the scene a little bit. I think that's fine. Get the light group, get the camera group. Cool. And there's my feather. But I think I can hide that, right? Yeah, feather template. Pretty sure it still makes them. Yeah, looks like it does. That's cool. Still getting used to how Yeti works. Definitely not what I'm used to. So, monster fur body groom. Attribute editor. Let's get the tool settings too. Oh, I need to hide a groom. Otherwise it's going to be a really slow boy. There we go. So let's see if I can remember how to do this, because I've not obviously groomed in a few days. Oh, I guess good news is I think I've finally finished the flip normals tutorial. It's been a lot longer to make than I expected, definitely a lot more frustrating than I expected making video tutorials. But you know, we'll see how those go. Hey Creams, how you doing? I still haven't figured out who you are. You're someone I know, right? Because you've mentioned Daddy Reliant, so I have to know who you are, but I no clue. Alright, so I guess increasing the length is going to be the main thing. Let's fix the patchy areas first, because they're going to be the easiest thing to fix. So let's just add guides like here. Strands. Why are you not adding? So let's turn off obey. Get my whacking pen. Yeah, judging by your reaction, I definitely know who you are. But, well, I know you. I don't know who the fuck Creams is. Oh, that's who it is. Alright, cool. Was it you that mentioned Daddy Reliance then, or was it someone else? Because I swear someone mentioned Daddy Reliance in the other stream, and I thought it was you. But, like, if you know the story of Daddy Reliance, that is impressive. Because that I really wouldn't expect that story to have made it much further than my friend group. Oh, this sucks. Generic name is haven't changed since 2017. Yeah, it's, the name of my account is one I haven't changed since 2012, I think. Do I want to do that? That feels like a really weird way of doing this. I mean, let's give it a go, I guess. I just need to give it a little bit more clearance on the top. Getting them to avoid this curtain is going to be a nightmare. I'm sure there's a way to do like bend around meshes and stuff. I mean, I can simulate, but don't want to do that. I'd rather fix it in the actual kind of groom. But yeah, super glad to have finally finished the flip normal stuff. It was taking so much longer than I expected. Like, so much longer. I find it is actually quite a frustrating process. I've enjoyed working with the guys at Flip Normals, but oh my god, recording video tutorials is a nightmare. I think it's because I suck at editing, so I always try to do things in one take, which is obviously on me for being dumb in the way I work, but so be it, you know. Although it does mean that every single video in the series is one take, which is impressive for the 2 hour the 2 hour like end videos. But yeah, I have infinite respect for people who make video tutorials. There's definitely a reason that I only do kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? There's definitely a reason that I only do text-based tutorials. It's so much easier. I feel like you can get more information into them without much more effort, to be honest. It's quite nice that guides automatically collide with the mesh, but at the same time it's kind of like, in areas like this, it's not easy. So I guess we're going to need everything actually to bunch up in there. I'm going about that all wrong. We're going to want areas to kind of push against each other. So let's like have all the fur kind of mound up in the middle. Could look quite cool. Yeah, that's the thing. Like one of my videos took me, I think 20, maybe it was around 15 or 20 takes. It was a stupid amount of takes, and it was like an 8-minute video. I think it ended up being. It's actually one of the first videos I did, so the fact it took ages makes sense, but it was painful, really painful. But I'm hoping that the final result, the final result came out pretty well, I think. Obviously I'm going to be biased, but I'm fairly sure it came out well. And I'm not talking the final result as in the final Groom, I just mean like the actual tutorials. They seem to come out in a way that might actually be informative, which is good. That was kind of the goal. Oh yeah, man, I feel bad for like how long that took you. I mean, I don't know how long it took you, but I feel bad for how long that would have taken you. I think my tutorials in the end, I think it's around, I mean, don't quote me on this because I haven't actually counted, but I think it's around 8 hours, maybe 9 hours. I don't know the actual number, to be honest. I just need to total them up. I mean, granted, the only thing I've got left to do is like a PDF that kind of sums up what the content of each lesson is, just so people can read through it and understand it if they struggle with the videos, like if I speak too fast or anything like that, like just a PDF that gives all the key points. Other than that, I've got to make the trailer, which is going to be painful because I suck at editing and I hate editing in every sense. Anytime I need to do an edit, I always just get like my girlfriend to help me because she's pretty decent at editing. But yeah, not looking forward to making the trailer. I'm really bad at marketing myself. Like I hate saying like, oh, you should buy this tutorial, because it's just not who I am. Like that doesn't bode well with me. So making a trailer to like help sell something that I made, I'm just gonna be like, but I sound like an egotistical arsehole if I overmarket this. So that's gonna be a difficult one for me to do, I think. Planning out the lessons was the easy bit, and that took ages. Example. Yeah, same. Still got the same demo reel from 2015 because I hate editing. Yeah, my show reel is gonna be the same for a long time, I think. Having left like the film industry and going to like children's TV means my Groom reel probably won't change in quite a while. There's a few projects on the horizon that might add, but like obviously going from film to any other industry, you're not going to be able to spend the time to really refine stuff the same way. So all my best work will still be like stuff I did at NPC for quite a while, I think. Just because you're never going to get months to work on one asset in TV. It's all about appeal. Like that's what it's one thing I'm quite enjoying actually at Blue is like the amount of focus on appeal is really cool, because obviously before that, like you want to make stuff look good, but the main frame was, is it realistic? Whereas now the main frame is, does it look good? Like not, is it strictly physically correct? Which is quite refreshing. but it does ultimately mean that my show reel won't change for a while. Hence why I'm doing personal projects. I need to update my generalist reel. My generalist reel is currently the same since 2017, since I finished university. Let's go there. So now I'm grooming inside a box right now. I just want to have it not intersect too much with itself. I don't really care where the third direction is going. It genuinely doesn't matter. But I just need to get something there so that if I ever do a camera angle where I can see kind of in, I want it to not look awful. Which would be a nice refreshing change. Let's do that. I really hate the default guide sample count. I don't know what it is, but it seems way too big. Like, I find the guides in Yeti so much easier to control when you're using like 7, 8, maybe even 10 CVs. But once you get above that, it just acts so strangely, and it acts the same way that Action does at that CV count. But you know, Action doesn't default to it, which makes it more usable in my mind. I've been developing a method on grooming. I suck at grooming. Let's just have this clear. However, the workflow I'm currently working on is looking good. Actually drawing curves using grease pencil, convert them to NURBS, apply whatever you modify you want to them, and convert them to Maya. Yeah, I've did a video about a method pretty similar to that a while ago. Like it's something that I was taught in. It's something that I was taught when I went to MPC. It's a really nice workflow for sure. I think I did it in my my eyebrow grooming like video that I did like I think 2 years ago now, a year ago. Yeah, it's a really cool method. Let's add a guide right there, and then we should be getting to a point now where they're starting to behave themselves a little bit. So I just need them to not intersect. I'm not worried about what their shape is. I just need them to not intersect the box. Let's try adding a guide right there. So stuff like that I want to get rid of. No, they meant to do that. Yeah, eyebrows are fucking fantastic with that method. Granted, I have a tendency of overdoing it. Like, I do too many guides for eyebrows, and that's something that was always like a point that me and Jesus used to take the piss out of each other for. Well, not out of each other. He'd take the piss out of me for it. Because I always do like stupid numbers of guides for eyebrows. Now, I remember one groom I did in... can't remember what digitable it was, and to be honest, I wouldn't be able to say what digitable it was anyway, but there was a digitable that I think my final guide count was like 180 or like 215 or something like that. It was the high 100s or low 200s, I remember that much. Like, it was a stupid number of guides, but to be fair, the goal was to exactly match someone's eyebrows, so I was gonna exactly match them whether it killed me. And it ended up almost killing me, so mission achieved, I guess. Need to get a guide in there. This first sweeping up thing is going to be a nightmare, I can tell already. There's so much further that's going to have to do this. This is going to need a ton of guides. Like an absolute ton of guides for this to work. I also have no idea if visually this will look good, so it'd be a nice surprise when we find out it doesn't. So this will be one of the last ones, I think. After this guide, it should be starting to relax. Well, that guide as well. After those ones, it should be starting to relax a little bit because it's had time to kind of fall out. So let's just grab, oh, and those ones too. See, what I'm hesitant doing is just dragging all of them in. Because I have a feeling that that won't work particularly well. And let's try it anyway, but. Nope. Hey Illusions, how you doing, man? Yeah, exactly. It's been a while, yeah. Hope you're doing well, mate. I'm doing pretty well. I struggle to keep track of when people drop by and when people don't, so I don't know how long it's been since we last spoke, but quite a lot's going on in life. I'm moving out of London, moving to Belfast, Northern Ireland, so that's going to be fun. We're just waiting on a house to confirm, well, a landlord to confirm that we can stay there. Once we've got that done, pretty sure we're moving end of December, which is a really weird feeling for me, because I thought I'd never leave London, or at least not leave London until I'm 40. Yeah, that's the thing. So in terms of getting them to avoid the curtain, I'm probably just going to groom that ever-loving shit out of it. So there's guides and guides and guides, because the main thing is I want this to be fully controlled. I don't really want to use simulation, and it's going to be one of those where I am going to do a little bit of hair simulation at the very end, because I want to do like a moving still frame, if you get what I mean, where like there's a very subtle waviness to stuff. Like some stuff is moving slightly, but nothing is moving too much. So just like a little bit of motion in otherwise a simple frame. That's think visually that'll work nice. So we will find out though. I'm gonna need a guide there. But let's just quickly check how that's working. I need to save an alt version of the scene as well. Oh, that's gonna be a nightmare. Oh, I'm regretting my choices already. I'm gonna commit to it because I think it's looking interesting. But it's gonna be a bitch. Let me try. I think not sure if I like that. But obviously this is a poorly executed version of it. But I'm not sure I like it. Looks natural. Oh, thanks, man. I'm still not sure I like it though. Like, I don't know. It's. I think the frizz is too high. Like these high frequency strays, there's too many of them. But I like the way they look everywhere else, so that kind of puts me in a difficult position. I also don't really like how the clumps up here work. I like this area. This area looks cool in my opinion. If I just grab that. Yeah, so like I like how this area looks. This is interesting to me. This area is a bit too frizzy, and this area is a little bit too clumpy. Right, so let's render that guy to see how he's looking. Obviously I need to do the guides for down here as well. But this is too much right now. I think I will have to simplify the groom again, like go in and delete a bunch of nodes, or at least disconnect them for a while. What's the reference for the groom? Oh, I've missed a bunch of messages. I'll get the reference up, and then I'll show you. Load recent, StickyMonsters. So the main groom reference, I've got these 4 images up here. So this is kind of what I want eventually with the headdress, like how it connects, like it's kind of braided thing. Other than that, the rest of this is pretty useless, groom information wise. I wanted the feathers from this kiwi bird. I quite like both of these, although I'm kind of going for my own thing a bit, just because I'm mixing in feathers and all that sort of stuff. But I think the one that I'm probably going for most is this guy, but he's a little bit too clean for what I want. And this area's a little bit, I don't want matted, I don't want loose. I think, to be honest, I don't really know what I want. I'm kind of just fucking about until I find something that looks good. And just catching up with the messages. But yeah, in terms of breaking up the roughness of the hairs, I mean, currently the shader wise, it's the same. It's just universal. I think it's like 0.4 roughness, 0.5 roughness, something like that. Let me just make some space on my other screen for this guy. But yeah, but this, I think the groom being too short is the main issue here. In fact, let's focus on the head, because the head is definitely the worst area. So I'm gonna go into, where are you? Graph editor. I'm just gonna drag that in here. And then I'm just going to turn off the clumps. So let's just deactivate you, deactivate you, deactivate you. Oh, hello. What's going on there? Oh, minimum length 3, 0.3. So I think the automatic partings might be part of the issue here, to be honest. But let's just turn everything off so you can work on one aspect at a time. Yeah, the way the guides work in Yeti doesn't make any sense. Like, why is this the height it's getting to? I'm sure these techniques to make it look really good, but I'd really love it if they can fix that guide system. Is there a control in the comb node, maybe? Oh. Oh, is that like a random? Oh, that's interesting. It's not what I want for this. Weight random, I'm guessing. Don't want that. And that's not overly helpful. Yeah, there has to be something that you can use to make this look better. Yeah, let's try increasing the length of these guys. One thing that would be really nice, like really nice, if there's like an extend curves feature. So I know you can convert them to Maya curves and then use the extend curves there, but I'd rather make it a paintable thing. Let's just edit groom. Let's go to attribute paint, length, and then I want you to max out at, what's the max, at 12? No, oh, they're all set to 2, aren't they? So let's set this to like 4. And then I'm going to paint, let's just paint 4. Four might have been a good length. I also didn't realise it actually is an extend curves. That's nice. I thought it was a scale. So what I'm going to do is just paint the middle to be this full length thing. And just to make it a bit more contrasting, I'm going to set min to 2. Alright, let's set it to 1. Just so I can see a little bit better what I'm doing. And what I can do now is get a really big brush with the smooth tool and just dab, dab, dab. And now I need to go in one by one, sculpt all these guys. How's Yeti compared to XGen? What's the feeling? I prefer Yeti for modifier work. I do not like its groom system, its clumping system, and its guides. Its guides are near enough unusable, in my opinion. But I'm sure there's probably tricks out there to get them to behave a bit nicer, but you shouldn't have to use tricks to get guides to work right. Like, if you have to rely on tricks to get guides to work right, this system is flawed. I don't think anyone would really disagree with that. As a pretty, what's the statement? What's the word I'm looking for? Pretty non-offensive statement, I guess. Is like, guides should fucking work. Sue me. Hang this down a bit. This area is such a mess now. I might need to redo the area. What we can do now though is check the length. So let me just go into my attribute paint and just quickly smooth out this area a little bit. Oh, I'm going to set those back down, aren't I? 0.5. Oh, 0.5. Oh, 0.5 is actually what they ended up being. What are the chances of that? Why did you W? Ah, yes. Guide work if you guide them. Fuck off, Nick. Yeti is cool for short hair, but long hair it's convoluted and irritating. Yeah, it's not ideal. Really not ideal. But I'm enjoying the general system. It seems like it's a powerful tool. It's just they need to really work out a few things. Primarily guide system, because I really like that the guide's length is paintable. Like, that is a really cool feature, because that means you can kind of mix like traditional, like in XGen you got groomable splines where you can paint the length of hairs, and then you've got guides which you can't, but you can actually control the shape. Whereas actually this, being able to like paint the length, and you can load maps in as well. Like, you can paint a map in Mari and then load I can't remember how you do it, but you can load like maps into this. Texture utilities maybe? That's to export them, right? Oh no, import, yeah. So you can import textures onto these, which is an amazing feature, because if you import that onto your length, that means you can kind of, work and work, export the texture, look for any guides in the texture that are shorter than the others, and fuck about with that. Like, it's a really nice feature. And that's the sort of stuff that is friendly as fuck in the pipeline. That is not what I typed. Fuck's sake. Let's undo both of those. Yeah, Yeti's stability is probably one of the best features of it, to be honest. Which, to be fair, is not a compliment. Like, I mean, it kind of is and kind of isn't. So, grooming tools are infamously unstable. Everyone knows that. But I feel like your tool doesn't break isn't a compliment. Like, that's just how it should be. But pipeline-wise, it is a dream compared to XGen. You know, model transfers are absolute breeze. I've not had a single issue transferring across models with completely different UVs, completely different topology, completely different volumes. Some of those even at the same time. Like you can change topology and UVs at the same time as long as the volume doesn't change, or you can change UVs and topology at the same time. You can change UVs and volume at the same time as long as topology doesn't change. So if you need to do all three changes, you just release it as two different models, and there you go, done. It's a really, really solid tool. Almost unreasonably so. So it is fun for that, but yeah, like this sort of work right now, XGen would make this so easy. So I'm going to cut this guy, I think. Let's just quickly see how that looks. It's going to look like shit, but I'm curious as to how shit. It might work better though. Oh, the feathers are going to be so thick, aren't they now? Oh, surprisingly not. They're not that bad. Alright, cool. So let's go into Yeti Graph Editor. Yeah, the longer fur might help quite a lot. I have no idea what's going on over here though. Like, this is fucked. I need a guide in there, aren't I, to kind of help it along. We may just need to do some guides that actually travel along it as well. I think we need to give that a quick render to see if it's going the right way though, because the viewport isn't that great. I guess that's one of the other things I can levy against this, is the viewport isn't ideal. But again, you know, most groom tools are on this kind of level, so I know you can improve it with the shader node, but the fact you can't really get it to react properly to lighting, as far as I'm aware, and you can't assign materials in viewport. Well, you can, but they break. So let's just see if that actually helped. It may well have done. How's my 2020 stable? I'm still on 2018, wondering if it's worth the upgrade. Upgrade to my 2020 if you're going to my 2020.2 or 0.3, because 2020.0 and 2020.1 were a pipeline nightmare. Right, this area feels really boring. This area of the groom is going to be such a back and forth. It's going to be a fucking nightmare. Granted, the guides are really simple right now, but ignoring that. So let's just go. No, I need that back actually. Yeah, my 2020 seems okay once you get past the most recent version. Or once you get to, you know, towards the most recent version. Before that, I mean, I guess Nick would be better to talk on it because he handles a lot of rendering and stuff. I'm a look dev artist, so granted I do a lot of rendering too, but Nick would probably know a bit more on the situation with that. Why is that struggling so much? So I may actually be forced to use more CVs than I want to here. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to doing digital with this. I'm curious as to how that will go. I want Arnold 6 full GPU integrated. Yeah, that'd be fun. I'm looking forward to trying out the new nested dielectric stuff. Because I actually do have some nested dielectrics in my scene. So that's a really helpfully timed thing. But because I'm using Yeti, I can't upgrade software version until they release a new Yeti. Because otherwise it will die. It will crash. And I kind of don't want to remove my entire groom from the scene just so I can have some water look pretty in the glass. That might be a bit of a bad trade, to be honest. Don't know if you agree. Why isn't this hanging down? Why did I do it hanging backwards? And why is my light still on? Light group. They both sampled at different amounts. Yeah, they were. That's why they weren't reacting the same. So, just trying to grab the guides that are clearly not going where they're supposed to. Again, though, I may need to delete a bunch of guides to make this controllable, because there's a lot going on my screen now. I wonder if there's a way to change the colours of guides in Yeti, because the default colours are actually quite hard on your eyes. So, like, I think they're fully saturated. That's one of the nice things in Action, is the guide system is, like, it's well thought out the whole way through. Like, the orange that it has as default is actually really easy to colour to look at, and that's like a small detail of guide work that, you know, wouldn't be on the forefront of everyone's mind, but they clearly, you know, they picked a colour that's nice and easy on your eyes, which is so important when you're staring at these things all day. These like region maps, they're a fucking nightmare on your eyes. In fact, in work, back when I was in NPC, I used to have a pair of sunglasses at my desk. And their like actual purpose wasn't for it, but basically whenever I was doing region maps, I'd put those sunglasses on because the colors were just so intense and it would genuinely like kill my eyes. So I'd just wear sunglasses whenever I'm doing region maps. So it just meant I'd be in this dark room wearing sunglasses looking like a right cunt. I mean, yeah, there's no difference there, I guess, but arguments to be made. Did you always want to be a look dev artist or just fall into it? What would be your ideal area? I always wanted to be a modeler. That was my thing. I'm just not really good enough at it really to reach the levels that I need. But yeah, I've always been more of a modeler, to be honest. Like, is in like what I wanted to do. I ended up in Groom by accident. Like I've said that even to them. The guys that hired me, is like, yeah, I never intended on being a Groom artist. It just kind of happened. Look dev is something I willingly went into. Well, that makes it sound like grooming and isn't something I went into willingly. I definitely went into it willingly. They offered me a job when I was in uni. Of course I'm going to take it. And it ended up being, you know, one of the best experiences of my life working at NPC in the groom department. But what I was going to say is, like, look dev is something I willingly went into as well. So it's not like I've ever kind of not wanted to go where I've ended up. It's more just, it's not where I planned. Like, if you'd asked me a year ago where I'd be this year, I'd say, oh, well, hopefully I'd be starting to climb up a little bit more in NPC, you know, be doing this, be doing that. So I never planned on leaving NPC. Just like now, I don't plan on ever leaving Blue Zoo. Obviously, that could happen. I don't think it will, because they're treating me really nicely, but yeah, it's like, you never know where this kind of work takes you. I've just gotten very used to not knowing where I'll be in a few years now. Like, you know, obviously I'm moving to Belfast, which I'm really looking forward to doing. But I don't know if I'll be there in 5 years. What if somewhere in Canada offers me like a, you know, non-refusable job? What if Pixar was get in touch? I doubt that will ever happen. But, you know, if they got in touch, fuck, I'm like, that's an experience. And it'd be really hard to tell myself not to do it. So I've gotten used to kind of going not where I don't plan on going. It's just kind of how my career has gone. It's always worked out for me. I'd never complain about my career because it really has gone quite well. I've met some amazing people as well, which is always nice. This hair is so much longer than the ones around it. Although look dev was something I was interested in years ago as well. Like, it's not like it's a recent development. I did, in fact, one of my first ever professional bits of freelance was 3D Artist magazine, which I don't know how widespread they are, but in the UK they're like one of the bigger, like a CG artist, you know, things, 3D Artist magazine. And I think it's issue 101. I did a shading tutorial for them, and I was still in university when I wrote it, and it was really, really fun. That was my first bit of proper freelance that was actually, you know, decently paid. And then the month after I did another one for them as well, so issue 102 and 101. And that second one was an introduction to grooming, which was back with NHAIR. This is before Action had really picked up. So I wrote articles for them. And it's funny because I'm listed as a freelance artist because they couldn't put student, but I wasn't really a freelance artist, I was just a student at the time. But obviously, you know, in a magazine teaching people and they're paying for it, you don't want to say the student has wrote a tutorial because there'll be people out there who have an issue with that. Personally, I don't care. If a student knows something that I don't, then fuck it, yeah, I'll learn from them. It's the whole ego discussion that I always end up finding myself in. If a student knows more than me, why wouldn't I listen to them? Well, it's not a case of if even, it's just when a student knows more than me. The amount of students I've met that just downright scare me at this point. It's getting more common as well, which is kind of scary. It's because there's more tutorials than ever before. Like, there's a lot of people who make free content now. I wouldn't put my streams up there with them, but there's a lot of people who do stuff like this, where it's completely free and you get to learn some really cool stuff. And then, you know, there's a lot of good resources that are really cheap as well, so there's just so much you can do now. So you need extending. And then cut that back a little bit. But yeah, I really love the back and forth in this of painting attributes and then them dynamically changing. Like if I paint this guy up, sorry, let's paint that guy up, his length changes, but then if I cut the strand, like there, the value changes, so it's actually live, which is a really nice feature. So I can just like go in and do that, and that would be the length map updated. If I was to export that, it's really good. That sort of stuff is what gets me kind of excited about Yeti. Is like the pipeline potential for a lot of these random things is really high. Because if like, you know, if texturing needed a map of the length of your groom, like let's say they were to do something based on it, and for whatever reason you can't export the length, which I know you can, but let's just say for argument's sake that you couldn't, you could just make the map, and it's just so easy. Let's cut that to about there. You know you're getting old and boring in the industry when a pipeline starts getting you excited. Nothing gets me as excited as a well-written pipeline tool. How did you get through? So what I'm going to do now is grab him. I feel like I need some of these to kind of go over the rest and like fall down later. Something like that. So you can still have some short hairs there, but the way they clump is different. So now if I try to, I'm curious as to how this works as well. Does it only affect, oh, it only affects selected guides. Okay, that would be a nice feature for them to add. If you could do, if you could smooth attributes with some that are locked and some that are unlocked, that'd be really nice, because then you could like lock all of the guides in a certain area and smooth the one that you want to affect to match them, whereas, you know, the current method, it would smooth everything in your brush. That needs to get cut about there. I think I need to do some guide clumping, which is something I normally really suggest against, but actually for this area I might need it. And I can't tell if that's because the guide system is so bad. Like if a guide system is bad, sometimes you might just need to work around it. What have I got turned on? That one. Oh, my lights are off. I don't wanna grab you. Right, I'm gonna run and grab a drink while this renders, because I have no water at my desk. That looks really not very promising. God damn it. Grabbing a glass of water from the kitchen is never quite complete without breaking like 5 dishes in the process. Yeah, so now it's starting to feel like, oh shit, what's their name? Kevin and Perry. Like, Harry Hill's character, I think. Where's the best image for this? That's definitely what he's feeling like. Yeah, fucking Kevin and Perry. That's exactly who it is. It's just this hair. That's all I'm doing on the monster right now. I can't let that go. I need to figure out what's stopping it from working. I need to do some drawing. Or maybe I need to make the length of this at the bottom longer. Let's check the concept. So the issue is that it just stops. If I was to turn off all the if I turn off the noises, how does it look? Stop rendering. just going to grab this area on its own. Okay, it looks shit with that as well. Control middle, click, will deselect. That's what it is! Oh, thanks, man. I've been trying to figure out how the fuck you deselect something for so long. Yeah, cheers, man. That's really helpful. So, I need to get the silhouette back here. This is so bad. Yeah, thanks for the info, man. I've been trying to figure that out for, like, well, I say trying to figure it out. I've not actively been looking into it, but it's something I've been, like, you know, occasionally testing for a while now, and it's beyond frustrating. What is this? That's what I'm wondering. It looks pretty bad. Is it a feather? Like, these feathers on the head are so long now that they're breaking everything. Just go through and turn all the noises off. Oh, that is all of them off already. I do like how quickly Yeti generates. It is surprisingly fast. So where are my problems coming from then? I don't like that it doesn't detect you turning a node off. Oh, that it detects you turning a node off, but it doesn't detect you turning a node back on. Yeah, so how am I going to get this done? I mean, I definitely need to make it longer. It's about here almost. Is the head just that much longer than the body? I mean, I guess everything's too short, isn't it? The thing is, I'm already having issues with how much volume this has. If I make it much longer, it's going to get really bad. You know, let me try. I'm going to pause that for a moment. I'm going to save my scene. Kill that. So I'm going to flood every single guide to be 4 in length. And it's going to look bad. But I want to see how bad. So let's set that to there and then flood. Okay. So ignoring the feather that's going to come straight through the face, let's see how that looks. Because maybe that is what it needs. Maybe I just need to make them way longer. The problem is, as we make it longer, it's actually going to feel less matted as we do so. And I quite like how matted it feels. So getting that back might be really difficult. Well, now that I think of it, it does look pretty stale. Render a bit full scene. So obviously this is all going to be straight lines now. Yeah, it's definitely too long. So if I try flooding them all now to 3 in length. Try that. That feels a bit better. That feels a lot better. Granted, this area just got even harder to control. And this area is still feeling a little bit straight, but we can probably figure that out. So that's the first pass. So we are going to have to kind of crank up the noises a bit. Because it now feels very straight. But did I even turn the noises back on? I'm going to commit to that and see how it goes. Oh, I've got them all turned off. Alright, that would be why. Let me try turning those on. Watch it just be completely ruined now. Now it's like it's getting its look back. Alright, cool. So yeah, I think length is the secret ingredient here. I need to commit to a longer groom, which is going to entail some new issues. But overall, I think that's doing more good than bad. Although his volume is huge now. Like really quite massive. Although maybe that's good, because we do want him to feel like very big and intimidating. Well, not necessarily intimidating. I still can't figure out what actually I want him to feel like. Which is naturally a bit of an issue, but we'll figure it out. If you guys have opinions, I'd really love to hear them as well, by the way. Like, I know this is my project and all, but you know, one of the many reasons for me to live stream it is so people can have input. Because I feel like I'm one of those artists, if you give me a target, I can generally get close to it, but I'm shit at finding targets. So like when people kind of give input and like really cool notes, then it gives me something to aim towards, which might help. Do you usually ask the concept artist if you can make a 3D version before you've got, let me reread that. Do you usually ask the concept artist if you can make a 3D version before you've made it or after? So when I've been doing these, I always ask for permission before. In the case of this, I haven't actually reached out to him yet, but I do, obviously I've got him in the description of every single, I think he's the first line in the description of these videos. And I do plan on reaching out to him once I'm finished with the project and being like, hey, I've made this, I'd really love... One of the things I'm playing about with as an idea is we've got this paper, and currently on that paper is just a generic bit of writing from online. I just found a piece of paper that has some writing on it. I'd really think it'd be amazingly cool if I could get him to write something on a piece of paper and actually have it in the scene so that he's like signs the work. I think that'd be really fucking cool. I doubt I can get a hold of him because he's not like as big as FK Twigs. He's not hugely famous, but he is still someone who wouldn't be the easiest to reach, I think. But yeah, so it'd be really cool if he got to see this stuff though. Really, really cool. I'm quite happy actually. That length change has done a lot for this. Like really a lot. I don't like how this looks like a leaf. Oh, it's got the green light on it. Might have to fix that. Yeah, the increase in length is doing quite a lot. That looks like a centipede. We're going to need to make these a lot thinner, aren't we? Let's bring that back over there. But yeah, so that's like the first pass of this groom. So the groom's come quite a long way, it's fair to say, but there are still elements of this that I prefer though. Because this, well, it's gained in mattedness, it's lost in that kind of greasy, uneasy feeling. Like this feels a lot more uneasy. This feels definitely better. Like I'd say pretty objectively this is a better groom. I mean, it should be, we spent triple the time on it. But this has something to it, which I quite like. I think it's because of how sparse the fur was, like it was able to kind of get this really see-through feeling, whereas mine has lost that, but I don't think I'll be able to get that back without losing the matted feeling, because you can't really do sparse and matted at the same time. Like you technically can, but it's definitely not an easy look to get. Anyway, I'm babbling too much, I need to work. So let's just grab... I like that the graph editor actually has like a proper outliner in it. I'm just going to close the outliner, save a bit of space on the screen. But yeah, so we can hide stuff in here, which is a nice little feature. And let's hide those. So I'm going to commit to the length, save my scene. And then I'll have to fix whatever issues arrive. So naturally we need to fix this first, because we don't want the face to be doing that. So let's grab you, edit groom, set you to 0.1, I think is what I want with. So 3 is the value I need to remember. Guys, is everything working? I get an error in the playback, can't see or hear. Don't know what issue he's having. Didn't want to do that. Yeah, the neck like definitely had something to it in the old one. But it's just like, it just felt so greasy, which part of me liked and part of me didn't like. Do I go full lazy in this area and just cut the hairs shorter? Let's just quickly... Alright, so it's control middle click. Yes, alright, cool. Cool. Yeah, thanks, Valen. I hope I pronounced your name right. Yeah, Valen. It's gonna be like a little nest in it. I'm actually gonna... Oh, that could be cool. Okay, so dumb idea of the day, which no one will ever see. Do I literally make a little nest and like curl the hair up? I mean, there is the whole issue of what are the mechanics of this creature? Like, how the fuck does it come out of the box? And I know I'm not saying like, oh, I want to make sure this is anatomically correct, because no. But what I do want to do is at least have some general idea as to how it's coming out of this box. I think that'd be helpful for kind of if I want to add extra details, which I normally do. I like to add little things in my projects, like the FK twigs. I guess the little thing I added in there was that my old projects, like my old streams, were in the earrings, which is something that no one will ever notice it unless I point it out to them. But I'll know it's there, and I quite like doing that sort of stuff. I always do that, like even in like university projects, I used to put like initials of people I was friends with and like type in like the room numbers of the university would be part of the set in some way. Like I always like to do that. I don't know why, because it's beyond useless, but I just enjoy it. And if you enjoy it, you know, do it. Let's do that. Oh, that's so much better. So, you are going to need to do something a bit more fancy now, aren't you? I'm going to need this to like droop, something like that. Now I need to check as well for guides that kind of flick through the rest and fix them. I'm here. It looks like you're doing ECGs. What's ECGs? Some smoke coming out of the box would look awesome. Yeah, I was really hoping to, because I want to learn a little bit of effects. I really want to do is like smoke come out the eye, but it might feel a bit too cliche. But I just want to have like a... like smoke, like very, very subtle. Like you're talking like probably more subtle than cigarette smoke. Like really very mild. But I think that could just add so much. Heart monitor. Oh yeah, I guess it does, doesn't it? Wow, that sounded really cunty arty cunty of me. No, no, definitely not. I've said some real art cunt stuff. Like, don't worry, I wouldn't say you're in good company because I don't class myself as good company, but you're in company. You know, it's not just you who says cunty stuff sometimes in the art sense. So, do I want to actually fix some of these? Because one of the things that I'm acutely aware of is that some of these areas actually looked good with the guides the way they were. So by fixing the guides, I might be losing the shapes I like. Because that's like one of the biggest threats to any artist is like, you don't know why your work looks good. So you try to fix it, and then it goes wrong. It's just like, fuck. And that happens all the time with guide work. Like, all the time. It's something I've gotten very used to. Like, I stopped caring about like fucking up like guides and stuff a very long time ago, but god, it's frustrating sometimes. So stuff like this I'm gonna keep. Stuff like that, it looks a bit too boring. Let's do something like, oh, shut up, Becca. Oreo. Leave my occasional weird pronunciation of stuff alone. I wasn't trying to be cute or kawaii or whatever the correct term is these days. It's just, I wanted to say Oreo and said W instead. It's like Jonathan Ross. I just occasionally swap my R's and W's. Like, for the longest time, Wayne Rooney was a really hard, and that even then I was kind of close. Like, the footballer Wayne Rooney is a really hard name for me to say because I swap R's and W's when they're back to back. In hell, if you want to embarrass me, by all means, ask me. Do you mind giving me feedback on the sculpt? Yeah, sure. Did you send it me on Facebook? Because I've not really been looking at my other screen. I can have a quick look at it. Let's fix you. I'm just going to quickly check Facebook. Let's save that. It's looking good, Becca. I wouldn't say it's gone backwards. I never realised how big Billie Eilish's nose is. Okay, let me just paint over it in Facebook. Or on my... One sec, just gonna use my phone to do it. Can you draw over? Yeah, I'm trying to draw over. I mean, I can't really spend too long on this because I am streaming. I think let's pick red. Really struggling to draw these lines. Send that. just pull sideways. There we go. Right. Like the quickest, hackiest paint over. There we go. So, yeah, it's looking good, Becca. Your sculpting's definitely improved. I am looking forward to when you come back home, though. Being in this house on my own is pretty depressing, not gonna lie. Although it'd be even more fun when we're actually living in Belfast and have like actual rooms and stuff. Having a room is something you don't realise you need until you live in a one-room apartment. And then you're like, oh yeah, shit. Rooms are really cool. Although I've not lived in a place with multiple rooms since uni, actually. Because in the second and third year of uni, we had the kitchen, and other than that, it's just everyone's bedrooms. In first year of uni, yeah, it's kitchen and living room, but again, uni, so you don't really get to do your own thing. So I'm looking forward to actually having like my own space again. To just like throw the guitar around, probably. That's what I'll spend most of my time doing. Sean Mills has mentioned me in a comment, and that always makes me nervous. I just realised you said I can bring it on stream. If you want me to show it on stream, I'm more than happy to. It looks pretty good. As I said, your sculpting's come a really long way. It's nice to see you getting a bit more confident with it as well. Do we need any others? Oh, up here is going to be beyond fucked. Let's give it a go. Initial strand length 3, but it's going to interpolate them anyway. yeah, there we go. Can you press F on this? No, it just shows the whole groom. Oh, Becca sent me another image. Much better. Yeah, much better. That helps a lot. I don't know if she's still actually watching the stream. There we go. So, back to the stream. A bitch I am. Thanks. There we go. This is the most tedious part of grooming sometimes, is when you just like trying to get guides in just to maintain volume. Because holy shit, this bit gets slow. It'd be nice if there was a way to like auto mask the guide that you just placed. That'd be a really cool feature. There we go. So I don't need it to look great up here, I just need it to work. Like, I can't have, you know, too much intersection, especially if I want to simulate some stuff later. I just want to add like a general wind effect, which I have no idea how I'm going to do. I know N has like some built-in wind effects that you can control, but I've got to figure out. So I've got to learn so much stuff to get this project done. Granted, I'm pretty proud of how this project is going. I've done quite a lot of stuff that is way beyond me. Like, the rigging stuff was painful as fuck, but now that I've done it, like, I'm pretty happy. I just get out of the habit now of pressing that cancel button. Like, you know, deselect all guides thing. I need to get into the habit of actually using the, like, that guy. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, that makes it so much easier. Breaking habits, breaking habits as an artist is so difficult sometimes. Because I think that's one thing that can hold a lot of artists back, including myself constantly, is like you form some habits and you don't care whether or not they're the quickest way, you just do it because it's what you're used to. And I feel like that's a really bad way to go about it. And I'm not saying that as like criticizing others, I'm saying it as like I do it too. It just feels like, you know, if you're aware something's a slow way of doing it, why do you continue to do it? Something that, like, for me is eyebrow guides. It's the classic. But, you know, it works for me, so I always go back to doing it that way, but I could probably do it in so many quicker ways. Which is why, again, whenever I show people how I do eyebrow guides, I'm like, please do not copy me. Please. And it's not the drawing curves thing, it's the sheer amount of curves that I draw. As I said, I can do hundreds sometimes. What are you doing? That's a weird look. Alright, so let's see if that's working. So, get you. This looks like it might be quite cool actually. Might be working. Then I have to fix the width on the feathers. Just the spine width. In fact, let's fix that now because I know it's quick enough to do. Let's just grab the template. So I just need to make this ratchy thinner. Let's hide the feather body while I'm at it. So select you, go into there. So ratchy, there it is. That might be enough, but let's lower it a little bit. Let's go 1.5. No, that's too thin. Go back up to 2. And then add a little bit of a thing. Let's make that more subtle. You don't want it to be like uniform. That just gets boring, but that might be good enough. Yeah, Yeti's like impressively quick at generating grooms. That's one of the things I'm really enjoying about it. It is very quick. God, I'm so hungry. I'm trying to cut down the amount I eat at the moment, but I'm very hungry right now. I should have got some stuff from the shop while I was out. So this looks more promising. There's one of two things I need to do. And I say one of two because it's a very subtle thing. But the silhouette here is perfectly straight, and I don't like that. It wouldn't be perfectly straight if I pull this guy in, or if I pull these guys out. So I need to pick one of those two. I also kind of want to pull this all in to make like one mass in the middle. Let's consult Ref on that boy. No, actually no, he's pretty flat. So I ideally need some more stuff here and here to help that out. And I think, yeah, I need to just straighten this out a bit more so it hangs more freely. So let's see how that goes. Is the width feeling better? Width is feeling a bit better. Really nice. Thanks, man. So yeah, let's fix that. So it's the head. So I need to pull more stuff straight from this camera view and figure out what's going on here. So back to reality. Where did that even come from? So let's grab you. I'll keep the lights visible. Oh, why do I even have that still on? Yeah. I think this will fix it. And then I guess that is where the random patch is coming from. So I'll just do that. And then grab you as well, not you. Let's give that a go. And I think I'll do some quick fuzz on some stuff. Just because I want to do something on the stream that isn't this creature. Because I can imagine people get bored of seeing this pretty soon. So, as much as these streams aren't about entertainment, I do still want to not bore people to death. I think that's something I don't want on my conscience, is killing people. Let's go to Arnold's render view. Give you a quick render. That's looking better. This is still coming out of nowhere. Although it's a feather, so I can probably just change the generator seed and that'll be enough to fix that. So can I not pull this in? This is going to be an endlessly frustrating. Alright, so I'm going to do this one tweak. So I need to pull that there. So let's just grab these guys. So I'm going to grab that guy and just go whoop. Grab you, edit Groom. I'm not even going to move my camera because I want to guarantee I'm getting the right guys. So I'll just do that, grab that. That might help. And then that might help. And let's just quickly grab you. There's another guy in the background, but I'm not too worried about him. And let's do another render with that. So when I'm doing this sort of stuff, because something I occasionally get asked is like, you know, how do you find these sorts of things? It's literally, I stop looking at this as a groom and I look at it purely as a silhouette. So if I find a section of silhouette that just looks really uninteresting, then I try to fix it. So we've lost a bit of something here, but I prefer this. Although we've got that straight line back. The other way to remove the straight line is to pull this all towards the middle, but I don't want to do that. So I may just need to undo that, what I was just doing. Let's hide these guys. Like that. Just like kind of in between of all of them. I still need to grab those guys right there. give that a go. It's still going to be quite straight, but we can just grab like a random guide and pull it out and see if that helps as well. Oh, Groom's not visible. Let's grab these guys. I don't know why, I'm really craving a pot noodle right now. It's the dumbest food to be craving. Just gonna let this run down, quickly check in some stuff. There we go. Right, so I'm going to let all this look its current crazy way, and I'm going to move on to something else. What do I do is the question, because I want the next video to be character grooming, which will be on Tuesday. We could move on to kind of clothing fuzzies. We could do that. I could do this too. Although I'm not sure what I'll do with that. I kind of want to do like a velvet, but it's so intense. Like velvet grooms are a fucking nightmare, and it's already like creased up to all ever-loving shit, so that's going to be kind of difficult. Although, ooh, can you groom stuff based on its UVs? That would be really cool if you can groom it based on its UVs. Although that would be a nightmare for pipeline, so I imagine Yeti wouldn't have done something like that. Mario, come back, please. Finish water. Need to get some more. Right, so let's. Oh shit! Don't know what that does. It's looking better. It's definitely an improvement from the beginning of the stream, which was what, 2 hours ago already? Yeah, almost 2 hours ago. So I think it's a good time to move on from this. I do still need to revisit the textures and make this like kind of like oily substance a bit more obvious, because currently it's a bit too subtle. Like you can't see it at this distance at all. And you know, the point of this sort of stuff isn't to be in your face. Like I just want it to be. I want it to be a little bit more substantial because it's too subtle right now. Although this eye looks pretty decent. I think it's just the angle of the lighting though. So let's change to update full scene. Where's my camera? Give me my camera. Where is my camera? Did I not hide? I didn't unhide the group. Stop. Update full scene. I just want to see what it looks like through camera. So this feels really weird. So I think we need more of a parted thing. Like we need the hairs to be straight down after they've done the tucking in. I should have been viewing it from this angle, shouldn't I, while I was doing all that work? I need to pull some of this over the face a bit more. The mask is too uncovered. Let's just quickly get a better feel for this. Yeah, I need to pull this forward. Let's do that, and then I'm done on this groom for now. So let's hide both of these. Turn that off. I always do the wrong one. I need to get the right one. Grab you. Edit groom. Sculpt. My new favorite tool. Right, so let's grab all of these guys. And just go whoop. I don't care about intersecting mask for now. That's a later future me's problem, I guess. Just need to have this guy kind of blend it all back together. So camera angle's more like that. So I guess I need to grab. Are those flowing backwards? They are, aren't they? That will help a bit. Again, it's going to pass through the mask, but I'm not too concerned about that. And then we need guides here. So let's try to add a groom. Oh, not a groom, a guide. So I'm just going to put a guide right there. Not like that though. Although I guess those will be helpful for now. So that'll help us kind of force everything flat. So let's just go. Whoop. Did not mean to do that. Oh, I'm holding the wrong button. What am I doing? Alright. Alright, so back into you, and let's just refresh that. That's better. That's a bit better too, although it does need, I think I'll need to do an actual parting map. So shall we throw some fuzzies on the kids' clothes? I think the scarf would be a good one to start with. Yeah, let's do that. Cool, so grooming something that isn't a character or creature. This is a fun topic. I'm going to should probably group all these, right? Go back in there. Char monster grooms group. Cool. So let us select this boy. And I guess he's still rigged, right? He is. So, shall we just commit to the pose? Which is awful workflow, but I don't need it to be outside the pose. I can always blend shape back and forth if I need to. So let's grab, delete the history on him. Yep, there we go. So he's stationary now. Yeti, create Yeti node on mesh. This one would be prop scarf. I'm just going to call it fuzzies. Fur fuzzies. Cool. And let's go into that. Into the Yeti graph editor. Close you because I'm not sculpting anything. Close you because I don't need you. Import, scatter, grow. Beautiful. Wondering what I'm going to do for shading on this. Like, do I use a hair shader or just throw the same shader as a scarf? Because technically it is the scarf material, but at the same time these are hairs. So tackle that when we get to it. So grow. Let's massively reduce. Well, let's set a low minimum. So down to like that. Length multiplier. That needs to be a very short boy. I guess the max can be 0.2, but I'm going to go with 0.1. Let's create a width node. Hate that base isn't set to that by default. So it's about something like that. Base parameter a bit high. In fact, no, base parameter is 0. And then width multiplier all the way down. So the default render density is 10 times higher. So I need to keep that in mind. So let's set this to 10. But really, $50. Turn off that, that's distracting. So it'd be 10 times higher. Let's just quickly set that to what that would be. Oh, actually, set it to 200. And then again, the grow should be surprising how little of a difference that makes. Bit off topic, but RenderMan's SSS compared to V-Ray's, Alshader, FastSSS, and Arnold's random walk. So RenderMan's subsurface seems pretty decent. I didn't really have many issues with it, but it doesn't seem like it's amazing specifically. It's just kind of, you know, it works fine. I think I prefer Arnold subsurface, to be honest. Random walk and random walk v2 do act pretty much exactly as you'd expect them to. V-Ray, I'm very out of date with V-Ray. I haven't used V-Ray since 3.1. Or no, 3.2. I had a V-Ray 3.2 license given to me at one point. And I'm not saying that as like slang for pirated. Like, no, Chaos Group actually sent me a dongle back when it wasn't online licenses. Which I actually never got around to using. But yeah, I think V-Ray 3.1 or 3.2 was the last one I used. So the Al shaders wasn't implemented at that point, but Al shaders used to be an Arnold thing. So I imagine it's the same, in which case his stuff is great. Random walk is pretty much the same thing as far as I'm aware. The Al shader stuff did look great though. But you know, he's CG Super wetter now, so that kind of sums up how good that is. Let's get some scraggle on this. And then turn off root scraggle, turn up scraggle as a whole, increase the frequency a lot, and then let's add a curl as well, I guess. But the curl can just bring up percentage. But yeah, I don't really have much of an opinion, to be honest. Just because I don't think my opinion is really worth anything on when it comes to Yeti. Oh, when it comes to Yeti as well, I guess. But when it comes to V-Ray, because I'm just so out of date, it's not even worth. It's not even worth going over, to be honest. So how does this work? Because this isn't doing what I expect at all. Let's turn that off. That's just scaling it, that's not curl at all. That's acting more like a scale. Is that the size of the curl then? How the fuck does this work? Why is length even a factor? Oh, it's the length of the curls. Okay, I can dig that. That's fine. Yeah, so this is not length, this is frequency. Why is it called length? Why is it up to an artist to figure that out? That's going to need to be quite high. Let's go to like 24. Yeah, that shouldn't be on an artist to figure out. I don't like that. And then we want this to be oh, that's length random. Length. That needs to go up a fair bit, actually. Is there a percentage? Why is there not a percentage? Okay, so it's based on UVs. Interesting. Maintain length. Does that scale it down, or? Okay, so it just scales the resultant curve. It doesn't change the amount of curl. Actually, no, it does. It changes the amount of curl. It'd be nice. I feel like it'd be more artist friendly if rather than changing the length of the curl, it just scales the hair down. That'd be a bit more artist friendly, I think. So, hash ID greater than, no, less than 0.1 question mark. There we go. You are too strong. I feel like that should happen actually before. That feels a bit better. So let's find out how ridiculous this looks. Oh wait, let's add some scrackle random as well. All the way up. So the length of this might need to go down a fair bit. Length multiplier 0.5. Oh, now it's just killing all the shapes. 0.75. Let's see how that looks. I'm going to set this even lower though. And I guess for now I just throw the scarf material on there. I need to rename all my materials to make more sense as well. Kid scarf. Because my conventions have gone completely out the window. Like they're all over the place. It's not good. So this is going to be 10 times density. That might be very intense. But it might also be what we need. So let's find out. While this renders, or tries to render, I'm going to go get a drink of water. Be back in a moment, guys. Oh. Too far away to tell if that's working. I feel like I need a hair shader on it to get something more interesting out of it. Let's throw a hair shader on it. Assign new material. Yeah, standard hair. Melanin at 1. Sure, melanin redness 0. Roughness, let's keep it a standard roughness. Although it'd be best to not use a melanin workflow. Yeah, so we get a few more highlights now, which is nice. I feel like they're too thick, which might work for a miniature. Let's render from this camera instead. And I'm going to hide this groom group while I'm at it. I'm also going to hide the monster in general and the environment and the background. So just so it's a bit quicker to render. Right, I'm going to let that clean up for a moment and get a drink, because I do really need a drink. Is it working? No, too thick. Not working. Although, I don't know. I feel like it is too thick. There's definitely too many of them. That tie is getting destroyed. Fuck, that topology is destroyed. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna have to. Is that still in the rig? Please tell me it's still in the rig. It is. Oh, but it's wrapped before. Oh shit, okay. I'm gonna have to fix that. It's not right now's problem, it's future me's problem, but it is a problem. Right, so let's get into the Yeti graph editor. I'm just gonna. I can't close that actually. So let's grab you. I'm gonna go to the width, reduce this to half of what it currently is, and then with you selected, let's go to the fuzzies, set that to be half a density. Let's give that a go. We'll also have to change the glossiness of the material, I think, because again, the highlights are too hot at the moment. I feel like they're also still too long. And really, I should have some reference up right now, but I'm in a no reference mood. Which basically means I just want to block stuff out and get something that I like rather than worry about a reference. Which for personal projects I think is okay. It's not good for anything other than personal projects, but so let's fix the length for this guy. Just a third of its current length. I can always add like a very low density groom that just as long has. They all disappeared. So set you back to, let's go to like 20. So it's 4 times more hairs. That's too short then, isn't it? So we need to put that up to somewhere between, which happens to be 0.5. God, it's so sensitive. What the fuck? I'll try putting that scarf material back on it. So let's step that down again and see when it breaks. .4 still works. Say it's 0.3. .3 still works. So why did it break earlier? So I'm getting too subtle again. Oh god, this is such a pain. Why is this so difficult? This should be like one of the easiest stages. Also, that cloth shade is pretty shit. Is it the material I'm using that's just making it too hard to see them? Let's try reassigning that material we had before. It's non-existing. AI standard hair 2, I imagine. Yeah, it is. I have to set this to black. Better. Is there a width randomness? There is, right? Let's put that like pretty high. That helps. So here's my favorite bit about Yeti. So now I want to do something pretty similar for the coat, like pretty much the same for the coat. So I'm going to select the coat, create Yeti node and mesh, call this one prop coat. That was awful. Why did I put COTE? For fuzzies. Now I can just grab this. I've groomed my coat. It's done. It's perfect. It just renames them all. It just puts out 1 at the end rather than 0. So now let's assign some existing material. Let's just put the same material on for a moment and run a render. It'd be nice if there's a way to instance these. There probably is, but it'd be cool if you could like live link multiple grooms. I know technically there's not much point in doing that, but it'd be cool. So the length looks a bit too uniform now. Too many of them as well. Like the scarf makes sense for there to be a lot of them, but the coat doesn't make as much sense for there to be a lot of them. So let's just step that down a bit. Let's go to like 5. In fact, no, let's go to like 4 render density. Much better. So if I want to actually refine this properly at some point, I'll need to go in and actually groom it. Like kind of, if you want a really good fabric groom, you do need to actually groom it. Like you can't just get away with doing what I'm doing right now. Like it will not give you final quality. Eventually I will need to make, like if I want to really push these to a new level, I'll need to, well, a new level really sounded pretentious. If I really want to push this to beyond where it is right now, I would need to make some basic guide curves just to have something there, you know. I like how it kind of bunches up in these areas where it's like on silhouette. Like it is there, it's just incredibly subtle. I've already rendered on that. So let's do another duplicate. In fact, can I copy paste this? Or is that getting too lazy? No, fuck it, that's getting too lazy. Create Yeti node of mesh. Prop hat for fuzzies. Copy paste. We will have to change one of these. And then hat, let's do the same as the coat. It is struggling a little bit, bless it. Cool. So there's our fuzzies on the clothes done. At least to some very basic level. Obviously we can spend a lot more time on it, and I'm about to, but yeah, please never look at this and be like, oh, so that's how they do clothing groom. No. There's a lot more to it than that. We need to lower that near clip plane. Let's go 0.5. That's better. So let's start with a hat, I guess. So we're going to want Yeti graph editor. Turn that off. Close you. Move you over because we only ever need one node at a time. So scatter, don't want to change. Grow, do you want a bit more randomness? So let's go to like there, there. Width, do I want these to be wider? I want a little bit more randomness, I think. So it only randomizes down, which is interesting. So let's increase that slightly to compensate. Although that's going to be a bit too thick now. So let's go So specific, these numbers. Make it feel a bit more coarse. Curl. So this one will need to change the length. And then the actual strength of the curl need to go down quite a lot. And then the scraggle. We may want another scraggle after this guy. Is there a way to set an initial direction? Because I still don't know what create. What do I find? Comb, convert, curl, direction. Here we go. Ooh. How does this operate? Mesh normals? Set the up vector to be the opposite. There we go. Nice. I like that a lot. So if I set the up vector to be -1, this inclines towards it, and I can incline it against it as well. And then roll is just going to add a random variation to side to side. No, it doesn't. How does that work then? I'll set roll to 0. I actually need roll on, don't I? No, I don't. I'm talking bullshit. Right, so that will get us somewhere. So let's curl the result of that. Let's not have every hair be affected by that. So weight, as always, hash ID. I'm going to add ID +1 so it's not the same seed for everything. Less than 0.6. So we have 60% of them. Question mark 1 0. There we go. So now 60% of them kind of flow. That feels a lot better. Guess what I'm about to do? Fuzzies. So is this one? This is the coat. Much better. Might increase the strength on him though. So let's have 80% of them for him. And let's just quickly turn off that scraggle. The scraggle's a bit too strong. Oh, it's the frequency, wasn't it? It was like crazy. So, oh shit. Okay, so what's the thing I'm looking for right now? I want to randomize this a little bit. But I want it to be like plus or minus 10. So like randomize between 20 and 40 in value. But as far as I'm aware, you can't, like, you can do pick, but then it's like this or this. You can do hash, but that's 0 to 1. So I guess I could hash multiply by 20, then add hash. Okay, so hash is, I want to get a random value from 20 to 40. So if I do hash ID and just add a randomness to that, then multiply that by 20. So I've now got a range of 0 to 20. So let's actually be a multiply. So this is now 0 to 20 because 1 times 20 is obviously 20 and 0 times 20 is 0. So now the randomness is 0 to 20. I want to go from it was 20 to 40, right? I think it was 20 to 40. So I could then add 20. So I don't know the order these are calculated in, so I'm just going to put it in brackets and then plus 20. So this is now randomize 0 to 1, multiply by 20 to get 0 to 20, then add 20 to get 20 to 40. All that for that. It'd be nice if you could just add a random value, but that just means that our frequency is a little bit different. It's not the same frequency and everything. Maths. God, I hate it. Right, Scraggle, let's change the root Scraggle a little bit. I kind of want to add a bit more, actually. Let's go to like 50. So that increases the frequency of all of them. In fact, that is too high. So let's go. Yeah, that works well enough. Strength needs to go down. Oh wait. And let's grab that direction and put that in the scarf as well. And that just tilts everything. It's not like a huge change, it just leans things around a bit. So, riding that very temporary high of feeling like I'm actually smart because I was able to figure out the randomness thing. But then you realize it's really basic maths and it isn't really an achievement to have done that. Oh god. The direction node is a really nice node. I'm really into that direction node. That does so much free work for you. Hello. So I'm going to let that render for a bit because I need to go to the toilet. I'm going to make sure I mute my microphone because that's happened in the past where I didn't. I'll be back in just a moment, guys. There we go. Everything's back. So, Groom. I feel like the up vector for the scarf should be Z forward. So that everything flows towards the front rather than just generically down, because down can just be to the side. Although down kind of adds a bit of a gravity feeling, which is helpful. And I could always mask. I could always mask that gravity by the curve, so it actually bends. When I say mask by curve, you can mask by curve length, so you can like only bend the tip and all that sort of stuff. Yeti actually has like a surprisingly comprehensive expression system. Like, it's quite impressive. It's something that I'd never heard of before. I never realized it had such a good setup, but apparently it really does. So I need to unfollow a post because I've been getting so many fucking Blender things from it. Turn off notifications. There we go. Right, so shall we do a quick zoom out and see how it's doing? Let's make that groom visible and make everything else visible while we're at it. Set you to be the render cam. Save my scene. I'll probably end today's stream a little bit early just because I have had a weekend of working because of the flip normal stuff, so I don't want to stay on too late. I want to play some Call of Duty or some guitar or whatever, it doesn't really matter, just something. That said, I did spend 6 hours today walking, which was nice. Yeah, so one of my fears about increasing the length of this guy is that it's going to feel super chunky, which it now does. It feels insanely, like, thick is the best word, I guess. But can I even avoid it? Like, you can make the clumps have a lot more random length, so it thins out some stuff. Just, it's feeling way too chunky. I feel like as well the length should decrease as it goes towards the base. That's what it does in the ref. Like, the fur is definitely shorter here than it is up here, than here. This helmet's still a bit fucked. But it's progress at least. I just need to really thin out this stuff. I might need to taper the body a lot more as well, but luckily with Yeti that's an incredibly easy thing to do. They can literally just blend shape it and it will work just fine. Everything's in world space. Oh, I'm not sure. What do I want to do? I'm going to try reducing the length just towards the bottom. So, and normally it'd be like, oh, but that makes no physical sense, but like, I mean, it's a monster coming out of a tiny box. It's really not that important. So let's grab all of this stuff. The fuzzies. It's always fun when you see like clothing grooms on their own. They look so cool. So let's go into grooms group and then turn you off. So it's amazing how much shorter 2 feels than 3. let's not worry about what's off frame for now. Let's just see if that visually reads a bit better. So it looks like it might do. That might have been what I need. Why did I open Hypershade? So let's store a snapshot. View, store snapshot. Yeah, that helps a ton. Yeah, that absolutely fixes the issue. So now the issue is, which one do I prefer? I guess we can increase the length here back down, back up to 3. Yeah, I feel like 2 works better down here, and once you get to about here, 3 works better. I feel like I need input on this one though, guys. Do you guys have an opinion on this? I feel like 3 really does work better up here, but 2 just works so much better there. And I guess if we reduce the length here, because this is where its silhouette is the thickest, so let's give that a go. So I'm going to have to undo what I was just doing. And then so let's get that. There we go. So painting a value of 2. Just get all that established there, 100%. So then let's go to U and just blur the ever-loving shit out of that. There we go. So that, in theory, should have the best of both now. Then we have to groom, do some more guide grooming stuff. Let me just alt save that. That looks promising. Let's just save that snapshot as well. I think that's looking better. That might be the best of both worlds. Well, I might need to blend it up a little bit further. In fact, no, I think that's fine. Yeah, that's best of both worlds, that works. I like having these feathers just sneak into the top. I didn't notice that before, that's quite a nice little feature. It helps visually separate the head as well. I really do love the floating fur look. It's kind of cool. Right, so we still need to figure out this shit. This isn't working for me. There is something up with this. I'm gonna have a look into my guides. It's this guy here, isn't it? Everything's traveling too sideways. Doing that should help in theory. I also need to kind of sort out a few of these guides because they're a bit dull. That guide is screwed. Sometimes all you need to do is just add the slightest of curl, just to make the guide not feel too unnatural. That feels very strange. That feels fine. Although I kind of want to do that instead. God, it's too straight. So you need to droop down like that. So let's see if that's any better. Looks promising. That's a super thick fucking feather though. Why is the Rachi so thick? Let it exist for a moment while we check what it looks like through render. And then in 5 minutes I'm going to end the stream, I think. As I said, I do want to chill out a little bit. Got a very long day of work tomorrow, I can tell. Oh, I'm enjoying the job, but it's just there's some stressful stuff coming up, so it's unavoidable. Oh, that felt good. I think, yeah, next stream I'll continue to work on, well, I'll work on the boy, I think, just to do something that's a bit more interesting. Although I do want to continue work on the mask, because the silhouette around this mask is a bit dull. I think because it kind of, you get to the braid, but there's no actual hair here. I think if there's some hair there, it would immediately fix all my issues with this. This is feeling much better. Much better. I just need to figure out why this stuff isn't working for me yet. So I have given myself a 5-minute timer. At 20 to 11 I am stopping what I do. So let's see how far we can get. Hide all that stuff. And then I'm going to eat some cereal because I am very hungry. So I guess we can tweak you actually. So let's grab these guys. Just pull them forward like that. And then let's grab these guys and just go whoop. Shall we try to get that silhouette? Because I feel like we could. Let's force it in. Let's really force this in. So, resampling. 25. Still really intense. Let's just do this. So I don't care what it looks like from the side, because that looks frankly ridiculous, but I don't care. I just want to get this working, because for me it's not currently working. I'm trying to break that habit, need to stop. For example, that. Sometimes you just have to like really go, now fuck it, and just like really pull shit apart. Do that. And then I guess we want to get you. Yeah, you'll help bring the crowd up a bit. And then kind of need some of these to move forward a bit, so they can kind of come over the mask. So let's just pull that forward a bit. We're getting the issue now of the high CV counts on Yeti guides being a nightmare, so I'm going to resample that back down to something like 8. I said I'll resample that down to something like 8, there we go. So that might help. But that's me done for the night, because I want to kick off a render and leave it going. Yeah, if there's any questions or anything, I'll still be here for another couple minutes, just while I let this get itself going. If there's no questions, then perfect, I'll be heading off. Alt save, we're on now version 85. Mental. Curious if that's actually helped. Did it help? It may have helped. Who knows? It's stuck sampling right now. So at some point I may need to increase the length of just this area to get this in. Not literally just here. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to let this render in the background while I go and do other stuff. But I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Maybe learned something, maybe not. And yeah, I'll be back on, what day is it today? Sunday. So I'll be back on Tuesday, because I got the Bournemouth University stuff tomorrow. And then, what's the date as well? On the 5th, should be fine. Cool. But yeah, so yeah, I'll be streaming as normal. So on Tuesday, we'll possibly pick up a kid. There's a small chance I'll want to continue working on this guy, but more than likely I want a break from it. So I'll pick up the kid, work on his head, or his hair even. And yeah, I'll see you guys there hopefully, and if not, well, enjoy your evening. Bye guys.